To govern South Africa, the ANC is considering collaboration with the DA. However, will the DA's Western-oriented policies align with South Africa's interests? An alliance between the ANC and the DA is crucial for winning, but it would require the ANC to compromise on its policies, putting South Africa's future at risk. This partnership might necessitate changes, such as adopting a pro-Israel stance and exiting BRICS. How would South Africa truly function under an ANC and DA alliance? Let's find out. The recent election results in South Africa have marked a significant shift in the country's political landscape, with the African National Congress ANC experiencing a notable decline in its dominance. For the first time in 30 years, the ANC's vote share has dropped below 40%, landing at 40.18%. This decline translates to the ANC holding 159 seats out of 400 in the National Assembly, a significant decrease of 71 seats from previous standings. Despite this setback, the ANC remains the largest political party in the country, although its diminished dominance necessitates new strategies for governance. The immediate aftermath of the election requires Parliament to convene within 2 weeks to elect a president and form a cabinet. This election process mandates the ANC to seek cooperation with other political parties to form a functional government. They can achieve this either through a coalition or a confidence and supply agreement, a practice that introduces a novel approach to South African politics. The necessity for negotiation and consensus building is now more critical than ever, marking a departure from the ANC's historical position of uncontested authority. Within the ANC, there are various factions with differing views on potential coalition partners, including the Democratic Alliance DA, the Economic Freedom Fighters EFF, and the newly significant MK party led by former President Jacob Zuma. An ANC-DA coalition is particularly notable as it is seen as a stabilizing force that could promote fiscal responsibility and a progressive shift beyond the legacy of apartheid. Such a coalition would also represent a significant political realignment in South Africa. Having marginally increased its vote share to 21.81%, the DA stands at a crossroads. While a coalition with the ANC could provide the DA with governmental access and legislative influence, it also poses a risk of alienating its supporter base, which may not favor such an alliance. The DA's decision on whether to join forces with the ANC will be pivotal in shaping the future political landscape. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the rise of the MK party. Under the leadership of Jacob Zuma, the MK party has secured 58 seats and has become the largest party in the KwaZulu-Natal province. The MK's emergence injects a volatile new element into South African politics, posing challenges to both the ANC and the EFF. This development also provides the ANC with an opportunity to attribute some of its electoral losses to the rise of MK, potentially aiding in internal reform efforts within the ANC. The economic and political implications of these developments are profound. An ANC-DA coalition looks possible. But has everyone forgotten the difference between ANC and DA? How can they possibly work together? Here's a reminder to please like and share the video and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and changing landscape. Let's continue now. If they do, will ANC has to compromise on many things. Forming a coalition government between the African National Congress ANC and the Democratic Alliance DA in South Africa would undoubtedly reverberate beyond the country's borders, potentially reshaping its international relations and geopolitical positioning. One of the major things would be leaving BRICS. Yes, you heard it right. Since its inclusion in 2010, South Africa has been an active member of BRICS, a grouping of emerging economies seeking to enhance cooperation and influence on the global stage. BRICS represents a significant platform for South Africa to engage with major economies and advance its interests in areas such as trade, investment, and development cooperation. However, the DA's predominantly Western orientation and its emphasis on market-friendly policies may lead to a reassessment of South Africa's participation in BRICS. While the ANC has historically supported South Africa's involvement in BRICS as a means to diversify its economic partnerships and amplify its voice in global governance forums, The DA's skepticism towards multilateral institutions and preference for closer ties with Western allies could prompt a reconsideration of this stance. Leaving BRICS would present challenges for South Africa. It could risk alienating its BRICS partners, particularly China and Russia, which have been key proponents of South Africa's inclusion in the group. Exiting BRICS could also diminish South Africa's influence in shaping the group's agenda and accessing opportunities for cooperation in areas such as infrastructure development, technology transfer, and financial assistance. A shift away from BRICS could have significant implications for South Africa's bilateral relationships with China and Russia, two key members of the grouping. China, in particular, has emerged as a crucial economic partner for South Africa, with extensive investments in infrastructure, manufacturing, mining, and other sectors. Chinese investments and loans have played a significant role in supporting South Africa's development agenda, including the expansion of critical infrastructure and the creation of employment opportunities. However, the DA's concerns regarding Chinese investment practices, debt sustainability, and human rights issues could strain South Africa's relations with China. The DA's emphasis on transparency, accountability, and market-friendly policies may clash with China's state-led economic model and non-interference principle, potentially complicating bilateral cooperation and investment initiatives. Similarly, South Africa's ties with Russia could face scrutiny under a DA-influenced coalition government. Russia has been a key partner for South Africa in areas such as defense cooperation, nuclear energy, and mineral resources. However, concerns over Russia's actions in Ukraine, its support for authoritarian regimes, and allegations of interference in foreign elections could strain bilateral relations, particularly if the DA pushes for a more principled and values-based foreign policy approach. The DA is pro-Ukrainian, so an alliance with Russia will be impossible. How about the South African Israel-Palestine approach? The Democratic Alliance's DA pro-Israel stance could indeed lead to a potential shift in South Africa's foreign policy regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict if it were to form a coalition government with the African National Congress ANC. Currently, South Africa is known for its vocal support of Palestine and its criticism of Israel's policies, including its settlements in the occupied territories and its treatment of Palestinian civilians. However, under the influence of the DA, South Africa's approach to the Israel-Palestine conflict could undergo significant changes. The DA's pro-Israel stance is characterized by its support for Israel's right to self-defense and its emphasis on bilateral relations with Israel, including trade, investment, and cooperation in various fields. A coalition government with the DA could lead to closer alignment with pro-Israel countries like the United States and certain European nations, which view Israel as a strategic ally in the Middle East. Under a coalition government influenced by the DA, South Africa could seek closer collaboration with pro-Israel allies in the international arena. This could involve aligning with the United States and other Western powers on issues related to the Israel-Palestine conflict, including diplomatic initiatives, peace negotiations, and efforts to counter Palestinian resistance groups. The ANC's long-standing support for Palestine and its advocacy for Palestinian rights could face challenges under a coalition government with the DA. The ANC's traditional alliances with pro-Palestine countries in the Middle East and Africa may come under scrutiny, as the coalition government may prioritize relations with pro-Israel nations and seek to avoid confrontation with Israel on international platforms. A coalition government influenced by the DA could also lead to a recalibration of South Africa's diplomatic engagements in the Middle East and beyond. South Africa may adopt a more cautious approach towards pro-Palestine countries and organizations, including the Palestinian Authority, Hamas, and the Arab League, to maintain cordial relations with pro-Israel allies and avoid diplomatic tensions. A shift in South Africa's approach to the Israel-Palestine conflict could have implications for its international standing and credibility as a champion of human rights and social justice. South Africa's reputation as a leading voice for the Palestinian cause could be undermined if it adopts more pro-Israel positions under the influence of the DA, potentially leading to criticism from civil society groups, political parties, and international organizations. So it's high time, and South Africa's future is at risk. What do you think? Which coalition government would be best for South Africa? ANC with DA or ANC with MK and EFF? Let us know in the comments section what you think will be South Africa's future. Do you want to watch more videos like this one? If yes, subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon next to it. We have decided to bring videos on something nobody talks about: African politics, economy, and increasing power. Thanks for watching, and until the next video, stay tuned.
Tell us what you think in the comment section. Like and share the video, and subscribe so that you don't miss any of our African videos. It's the best way to support us.